Welcome, my name is Roy Smith. I manage technology here in the pilot plant in Koog aan de Zaan in the Netherlands. In this episode I'd like to talk to you about what happens after the pilot plant. So we do trials here and then of course we want to take this information and use it for the industrial process. Now I took an example for you for a ball mill. We did some trials yesterday. We made some chocolate and then how do we get the information here? So we pump the mix, the premix of the chocolate, we pump it through the ball mill. So this vessel here is filled up with balls. The product is pumped from the bottom to the top. The balls are rotating and then the product is refined when it goes through. Then after the collection vessel, we can either pump it to a second ball mill or a third ball mill, or we can bring it back into the mixer for a second pass in the same ball mill. So that's how it works. We want to know the starting fineness, we want to know the end fineness of the product, we want to know the capacity, how much kilogram per hour is coming out, and we want to know how much kilowatts is necessary to get this product to the right end fineness. So with this information, the energy we use, the end fineness and the kilogram per hour, we can calculate how much energy we need to grind this product down. Energy is always the same, so if we know how much energy we use here, then the industrial line needs to use the same amount of energy. And then we can calculate the capacity based on our information here. So this is the small scale version. Now let me show you the big scale version in the assembly hall. Here we are in the assembly hall where we are preparing a ball mill, a chocolate ball mill for shipment to a customer. You still see the old name and logo on top of the ball mill. This will be changed in the near future even. The ball mill elements you will find the same as we have in the pilot plant. So we have the vessel which is completely filled up with chrome steel balls. We have the collection vessel and we have the pump, and in the back you will see the mixer. So here we have the same principle. The product is pumped from bottom to top. It comes out here in the collection vessel, and from the collection vessel we either pump it to the next ball mill or a third ball mill, or we pump it back into the mixer for a second pass. So the same elements as you just saw in the pilot plant we have on the industrial scale. That means that if we have the information from the pilot plant, we can calculate this based on energy, what happens in here. Because we know the installed power, we know the consumed power, we know the installed power, and altogether it can give the information that customers want. Capacity, if a certain ingredient is passing well through the ball mill or not, if it's refined well or not, if it's temperature sensitive or not, all this information from the pilot plant, we can upscale it to the industrial line. Okay, so this is a chocolate ball mill. Let me explain to you the difference between a chocolate ball mill and a cocoa ball mill. Follow me. So here we are. Part of the secret between a chocolate ball mill and a cocoa ball mill is on the inside of the machine, the shaft. And on those shafts you can see already a lot. For example, the difference in material. For the cocoa shafts, you see much more pins and discs on the shaft, which means we can have much more balls for this grinding. If you have much more balls for grinding, you put in more energy. If you bring in more energy, the temperature goes up. For cocoa, that's not really a big issue. For chocolate it is, because of the sugar and the milk powder in your chocolate. You don't want the temperature to be really high up. So if you reduce the amount of balls, you reduce the amount of energy, you control the temperature much better. And then you can see on those chocolate shafts, the shafts for the chocolate ball mill, that there are less pins on it, to get the chocolate or the compound grind down to the right size. So back in the office, I hope you enjoyed this session where we showed you the two ball mills, and I hope to see you next time on the next episode of Food for Thought.